Okay. So we should continue to study from the book of Joshua. Yesterday, we covered chapter 4 and most of the chapter 5. Very much, I summarize and condense chapter 4 and 5, most of the 5, into 4 major points because in the content there were a lot of repetitive recording, repetitive. So in chapter 4, basically there were 2 things mentioned. Chapter 4, that after they crossed Jordan River in chapter 3, in chapter 4, the Lord used the entire chapter 4. The Bible used the entire chapter 4 to remind you, make sure that you are able to pass on the baton. That the Lord told them to prepare the memorial stone because at that generation they are very limited ways that you are able to passing on the memory, the story, or whatever happened. They are very limited way to record and pass on to the future generation. Okay? So the Lord asked them to erect the stones representing the 12 tribes. For what? So one day, when the future generation looking at apparently man-made, human-made, man-made sin. So the stone just doesn't happen to line up all 12 of them. Right? You know that people, hey, wait, how come it look like that? So when they found out something extraordinary, abnormal, and people say, hey, how come? Apparently somebody did this. Who? Why? So by asking the question, then they have the opportunity to tell the future generation, this is why. So it is very important. It is very important that for you to find out why. Ask your parents, ask your grandparents about their journey of faith. And as for you, if you are mature and grown up, now let's put this if you want to have a recording of your journey of life, okay? Like people do diaries, like people write journals, you can also prepare yourself, get yourself to write your journey with the Lord. Nowadays there are so many different apps that you can use that to help you, like Evernote or like whatever, like OneNote. There are a lot of free apps that you can use it as the way to write your journey with the Lord. In my family, my wife create a notebook from the phone app. Share with just me. Just me. Yeah. So basically, because I am away from home very often. As a preacher, as a pastor, typically we are away from home close to 6 months a year, like half. So maybe a little bit less than half. But we are away from home a lot. So my wife in that journey, in that journal, that she will write testimony of what happened to mainly the kids, mainly us growing up. You know that sometimes one day you will learn when you become a parent that you will learn that for the children to grow up safely is really a miracle. Okay, a blessing of the Lord. There are just so many ways that they can manage to murder themselves. Now, seriously, that they are able to 很会作死啊 so the kids that they really know how to now get themselves hurt. Yeah. So so along the way, that sometimes I write in terms of in my ministries that I run into a lot of obstacles, difficulties. Then how God bailed me out from the impossible. For example, not for example, either how God bailed me out from the example, the obstacles, or how God here and there send me little gift. It's more like God was like, "Hey, surprise! Thank you for your service," like something like that. As a preacher, as a pastor, that honestly speaking, that we get a lot of interesting perks, not from the GA, not from the GA, not from the GA, but we get a lot of interesting small presents, gift from Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's just pretty amazing that quite often you get surprise from the Lord. You know that taking the airplane out of nowhere, they were like, when you're about to check in, they were like, "Oh, you just got bumped up to the bigger room." Yeah, I took several times I got bumped up to the business class, just for the I did not ask for it. I wasn't even like like loyalty members. Yeah, they just like, "Oh yeah." But not the long distance though. Usually like Canada. Oh, last time I went to Canada, they just bump me to the front. Oh, I don't like it because like the things when you get bumped up, the chair in front of you is so far away, right? You're like, I can't hide my feet. Oh, I don't like it. Yeah, I don't like it. It's just so far, and you feel so exposed, like open, and your backpack was so far away. Yeah. I don't like it. I don't like it. Yeah, but it's just that there was once I was on the way to Dominican Republic. We got on the airplane and we were asked to get off the airplane because they found that the pilot's window were cracked. There was a crack, and I was like, "I'm not getting on that plane." And they said, "Oh, don't worry, we will fix it." I was like, "No, you're not fixing it." Yeah, so we were told to get off the plane. After 2 hours, they said they glued it. I was like, "You what?" They said, "Don't worry, that's a professional way to seal it." I was like, "Okay." That is one of those airline flight to Dominican Republic. I just okay. And they said, "Oh, don't worry, we have sent the picture to FAA." Right. They said, "We sent the picture to aviation department. They verify that the ceiling is okay, is safe." I was like, "That's because they were not on the airplane. They are not the one taking the airplane." Yeah, but you know what? What can you do? So we got on the airplane, and then I found a gift basket on my seat. I was like, the airline is pretty nice. We wait for 2 hours, and then they send us a gift basket. And then I look around. I was the only one with a gift basket. So well, because it was about to take off, so I just put it on the side. I figured that maybe somebody ordered from the catalog, like the Sky Mall catalog. So I put it on the side. I was going to ask the flight attendants, and then the girl next to me happened to be a Jewish girl, and she's like, "Why do you have that?" I was like, "I don't know." And she was like, "You must be someone special." I was like, "You can say that." I am the ambassador of the Lord. Yeah. Yeah. So I was just like, "Yeah, I am pretty special." Yeah. Uh, after the flight landed, as we are getting off, I just take the gift basket and I brought it to the flight attendants. I said, I found this on my seat. Did anyone order? Maybe like you misplaced, someone ordered from the Kerala, miss, and she checked. She said, no, nobody ordered anything. I was like, then what do I do with this? She said, well, find the keeper. Now you find it, it's yours. Yeah, so I took it. Yeah, but later it was a full set of those special treated pillow and blanket, special treated so it repel like bed bugs. It repel those like whatever mite, not mites. Yeah. Anyway, it was specially treated. So I brought it to Africa, and then the member in Africa saw it. They say, "Oh, I think this thing belong to Africa," and I left it there. Yeah, you know that one day when you go to Africa, they will tell you like whatever you have. Oh, I think that thing belongs to Africa. Yeah, they will say that to you. Yeah, but anyway, so the four things. Number one, you need to leave a trace so that can serve for your own benefit. It can also serve for your future generations' benefit. Sometimes I get distressed. I get probably discouraged. Yes, we do. Sometimes we are exhausted, or sometimes we are hurt. Sometimes we got really discouraged for whatever happened in our day-to-day work. Sometimes I go back to those old day writings by me or by my wife. I read the story. I read how God. I read how God help us and how God provide for us. I read about the miracles that in my household. That really help you to reboot your faith. If God had helped me so much in the past, He will help me today and He will help me tomorrow. Okay? If God has been so gracious to me and my family, what is there for me to complain and grumble or dissatisfied with? You go on. You wipe your tear, you go on, for the Lord has loved you so much. Okay? So writing or recording, memorizing the work of the Lord is good for you and for your family. And we also talk about, in chapter 4, we talk about being considerate. So that they rush through, like push each other, so that the priest doesn't need to suffer or stand for so long carrying the Ark of the Covenant. So today you need to do the same. Today you need to do the same. You need to be more considerate by growing up faster so that your pastor doesn't need to suffer that much. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for your service. Yeah. So you know what? The more mature you are, the greater comfort that you will bring to your church, your RE teacher, your parents, your pastor, and also to God. So as we are growing older, you can be cute, you can be sweet, okay, but please do not be immature. Please do not be immature. So number 2 is be considerate. That's a sign of maturity. You will think a little bit more than just about yourself. A few years ago, I have a very, very stern, very harsh in the class in NYTS. I gave a very, very harsh, mean, terrible comments about the selfish behavior of the students. Is something that you probably didn't even pay attention to, because at that time, that after a few days, we realized that a lot of students with their high-end expensive products Back then, computer is very expensive. iPad were very new in the market, so everything's very expensive. But some students they have no problem. In the dining area, leave the pad like this. They just put it and walk away. Sometimes even with the power cord connected to it, I was very angry with it. You might think this is what's a big deal? It is a big deal when somebody happen to knock it over. When you get knocked over, on the floor, on the solid floor, and crack the screen. Who is paying for it? Who is paying for it? Of course, you was like, hey, you knock it over, you should pay for it. You trip the power cord, you pulled it off. It's your fault. That's called selfish. Who told you to place like this? Who told you to place like this? I mean, if you're for outer box, then yeah, you can place any way that you want. Outer box is those are heavy defender. In my opinion, for you to put yourself in that situation, that you are angry because your newly purchased computer or iPad got smashed to the ground. Okay, you are angry. It's like somebody need to pay for it. So you ruin what you have, something that you love. But the other person is not even about clumsy. When you leave, if you leave at the center of the table and the person, when they wipe the table, they wipe the whole thing to the floor. That's called clumsy. And they better be prepared to, pay for their clumsiness. But no, you have no problem. That when they charge, the power cord is not long enough, they leave it like that dangling. Their MacBook. I don't like that. I think that's very, very inconsiderate because it will ruin your mood. It will ruin the other person as well. Even you say, oh, you know what? Don't worry, my family is very wealthy. I'll just tell my mom to buy another one. But they still feel awful because after all, they are the one that passing by and it fall on the ground. So they feel guilty, but they are unable to afford it. I think that's selfish. So the reason I really at the end I snapped because very many times in that NYTS, so many times I have to push in the phone. I have to just make sure that it's not really edging out. I have to put the computer in and the cell phone, the iPad. I have to I was the one that just make sure that they don't fall on the ground and crack the screen. But if you cherish what you have and think about how would that impact the other person's mood, life, how guilty would the person be while they feel very innocent about that? When you leave it dangling, even if they jump, it falls off. Yeah. So be considerate means that you think a bit more about your action. How would that impact other people? So that's called grow up. That's called maturity. Chapter 5. So chapter 2 only these two things. Passing down the baton and also be considerate and mature. That's chapter 4. Chapter 5, also there are two things. Number one is that they perform circumcision, a new beginning. They roll away the shame of Egypt. They used to know labeled as the slave of Egyptians. Now they are not. With the circumcision, they are having the new name, a new title, a new status. They are known as the army of the Lord. The army of the Lord. So in chapter 5, it begins by circumcision, new beginning. You belong to God. You do not belong to Egypt. That's one. Second, the second thing that he mentioned is that when they cross Jordan, as they begin the new journey, that manna ceased cease. No more. No more. You know that in human perspective, that's a very wrong move from the Lord. Why? Because now as they are entering into the land of Canaan, it's not like they are able to start sowing the seed and getting the harvest right away. No. They didn't occupy the land. They need the free food. Okay. So the reason that God descended manna in the desert because they were unable to till the ground and farm the land. No food, no food. When you keep on moving as a nomad, wander on the land, you were unable to plant the seed, wait for the crops, and harvest the result. You can't because it takes a lot of time. You are always on the go, always on the move. You can't. So God provide manna. But at this moment, as they enter into the promised land, they have not yet conquered the land. But the Lord shut off the supply already. Shut off. And you're like, hey, this is when we needed the most. Now we are facing a battle. In the past, they were only wandering. Wandering means that you go, you stop, but you don't have much obligation. You can go dig the ground looking for something. You can go hunting for something. You are having the leisure to find supplies. Okay? But now you are engaging in war with fierce enemy. You don't have time. The consumption goes much higher. When you are wanderer, you can go 1 meal a day. You can still survive. When you are fighting a battle, you better eat well. You better eat well because it consumes much more. But at this most dire, the most demanding situation, God just shut off manna. No more free supplies. No more free food. It's very interesting the moment that God chooses and provide manna no more. It was a terrible decision from human perspective. Wrong time. But Israelites, they don't complain about it because they know that God is treating them like a grown up. A grown up. For them, you know that we yesterday we talked about 40 years before, 40 years after, like the before and after. 40 years ago, by the Red Sea, God expect nothing from them. God expect nothing. 40 years later, you better do it yourself because you grown up. I train you, I mold you, I brought you up, I provide for you. Now, you are full-grown adult spiritually. Go ahead. Now get your feet into the river or the water will never be divided. You will never. It's not about how much you pray. It's not about how much you fast. It's about the moment when you take the first step and say that I am changing the way I live. Okay? It's the way that when you go back and say to your so-called friends, you know what? Stop influencing me. All right? I don't care about peer pressure. I don't know, is peer pressure a big thing to you? I don't understand that because it was never a problem to me. For me, friendship is really overrated. I am sorry. I am just a cynical guy, okay? Yeah, for me, friendship always built upon mutual respect. Mutual respect, all right? So if they do not show any respect to my personality or my preference or my principle or my faith, if they do not show any respect toward who I am, what make you think I want you to be my friend? Chou. That's how it is for me since high school or even before high school. Yeah, I was just a weirdo. Yeah, difficult guy. I don't. I have friends. I have friends that last decades. That I have friends from 4th grade. And we are not even in the same country. I have friends from 4th grade. My first friend in United States from high school, you know that now he's in the East Coast, working in the East Coast. Yeah. So you know that friendship built through lifetime. I look very, very lightly upon the so-called, oh, I got so many friends on my Instagram. Sure, those are your friends? Do they really care about you? Huh? You know that you don't use Facebook. In the past, that the old generation they use Facebook. In one of the NYTS, oh, I have more than 1,000 friends. And I was like, okay, out of that 1,000 people, how many do you really know? Okay, 200. Out of that 200 people, how many of them have you ever really meet in person? 50. Out of that 50 people, how many have you really communicate constantly? Nobody. I was like, you got no friend. Hey, buddy. Yeah, we're the same. No friends. So you know what? If you are very easy to be influenced by your peer, even to the point that for their sake you are changing your principle, you are alter your personality, you just try to fit in, doing whatever. I'm sorry, that's called immature. Maturity is you know who you are. It's not that I don't have friends, but I'm very selective. I'm very selective. I have friends inside the church, like Preacher Timothy Young and I. We are very, very close. That he has no problem calling me and say, "Oh, Preacher Raymond, we are assigned to San Jose to help. You know what? I want this and that for breakfast and for lunch and for dinner." I was like, "Fine, you will be there when you arrive. We are buddy. Long, we are lifetime friends. Not only we are co-workers, we are very close friends. Very close friends. We talk about our struggles. We talk about our challenges. We talk about our experience in servitudes. We ask each other when we run into quite difficult things in the local church. We talk. That's called friends. That's called friends. For those people who in school, for those people who give you pressure in school, say, "Oh, if you don't do this, you're not part of us." What make you think I want to be part of you? Yeah. What, you pay me? You pay me, I go. Don't pay me? Don't pay me. What make you think I want to go with you? Yeah. Friendship define. You need to redefine your friendship. Are you looking for friendship or you are only looking for comfort? All right. Or are you only looking for sense of belonging? You need to redefine your so-called friends. But anyway, that's totally what we that's totally not what we should cover. Yeah. So you know that the Lord cut off the supply because the Lord believed that my children, now you grown up, you prove yourself by standing in the Jordan River just because I say so. Remember what we said, that when the priest step into the water, they do not see the miracle instantly. No, because the water were cut off from way above, far away, miles away. It was happening, but they were not seeing it. The priest did not dip the water and say, "Oh, nothing happened, we can't do it." No, they dip in the water far away, something happened, they did not know, but they continue their action. They carry out their command and they obey their instruction. They stood there and eventually they saw how the water ceased. That's the differences. Did you see that the 40 years ago by the Red Sea and 40 years later were totally different? And that maybe that's what the Lord expects from you as well. So the Lord cut off their supply at the most needed time. Right? They need that. They need that for their military action. They need the supply so that they are, that at that moment, there is a journey of no return. All right? Because once they get out of the Jordan, when priests got out of the water, what happened? The water started flowing again. Their back way, the way to retrieve, the way to run away, the shortcut were gone. No more. In the back, Jordan River. In the front, city of Jericho. At the present, no food from heaven. That's called dead end. God purposely put them at the corner. They are cornered. If they have a lot of food coming down from heaven, like the past 40 years, just go out and pick manna. We can stay here, no problem. All right? Outside Jericho, they dare not to come out. We are unable to go in. Fine. They are next to Jordan River. That means the land were extremely well watered. They can plant. You know that they have two choices. When they realize that no more manna, at this time they have two choices. First choice, well, since we have no more free provision, what is wrong if we decide to start sowing the seed here so that we have food to eat? Okay? That's a very common, normal. You play safe. But you know what will happen? When you are cornered, in the back is Jordan River, in the front is a mighty city of Jericho, and the whole land of Canaan were looking and waiting for the news. But when the Canaanites realize that you are not conquering or fighting or defeating, annihilating the city of Jericho, you know what will happen next? You will find all the Canaanite tribe come down, and they will surround you and they will kill you. You will be surrounded with only two choices. Either you surrender or you jump into the Jordan River. Okay? So when you want to play safe, if you always, you know what, life is hard. This is a practical way. God must have understand. When you always play safe, or when you're always looking for ways to compromise, you will be surrounded by the enemy. Then there's no way out. They can play safe by sow the seed by the Jordan River. The land is fertile, rich in water. We can do this. The next thing that you know, you will be, they were way outnumbered by the Canaanites. It's just at this time, Canaanites, they were afraid. They don't know who is this people. They don't know what's going on. They are waiting and see what happened. But Joshua did not take the easy way. Joshua, as a military leader, he realized that there's no way to back out. The Jordan is floating again. No way to go. Food, no more. Solution, only one. We wipe out Jericho. That's the only solution that come to his mind. We don't have any way out. God is not giving us food. Okay? Instead of why? Why did you do this? You are not good. You are not fair. You are trying to kill us. 40 years ago, remember, they were facing the same situation. Reversed though. Red Sea in the front, Egyptian army in the back. It's identical. 40 years ago, they were also cornered. And what did they do? They cry, they whip, they shout, and they blame God, they blame Moses, they blame everybody. That's the only thing that they did 40 years ago. 40 years later, there's no way out. God is not providing. Jericho in the front. For Joshua and the Israelites, the new generation, the generation of the Lord. Because the generation of unbelief has been wiped out, purged. Now this is the generation of faith, a generation that grow up seeing miracle every day. And for them, life is very simple. Jordan in the back, food not coming from above. Let's just take out Jericho. Just take out Jericho. Solution is very easy. Let's wipe out Jericho. They got food. They got food. God is not providing. Why? Because now you are all grown up. You will realize quite often a true seeker, they experience provision, miracle, a lot of things, signs, receive. They get to experience a lot as a true seeker or a newly baptized. But the interesting thing is the longer they believe, the less experience that they get. Or should I say, the less spiritual, supernatural experience, the less that they have. Why? The Lord did not want you to build your faith upon experience. They want you to grow. You cannot always drink the milk that God wants you to eat the solid food. You should root it in the truth, not build your faith upon miracles. So when manna is not descending, what you going to do about it? For some, they grumble, they complain. For some, they scatter, they fear, they cry. Some, they try to swim back from Jordan to the other side. For Joshua and the people of Israel, the younger generation, very simple. We take down Jericho. What is your choice? So think about it. So that at this moment, God stopped giving them manna, not because God hated them, not because God wanted them to die and perish. God trusted them. My children, after 40 years, now it's your show. You go. And they did. They did. God is doing the same. Maybe God made it difficult for you. Maybe God made it difficult for you in your study, in your future career. Maybe God made it tough, made it difficult for you. Not that He doesn't love you. Is that, my children, after all these years of training, I trust in you. I believe that in good time, in bad time, you will always hold on to me because you worship me not because I give you something. You worship me because you love me. So with such a strong mentality, you are able to conquer whatever the obstacle ahead of you. You are able to come out on the top facing all the difficulties. I'm not saying you're going to be rich. I'm not saying you're going to be success. I'm saying you will be content with whatever the Lord provides. Because now you are seeing the Almighty Lord yourself with your own eyes. So the number 4 in chapter 5 is a very weird move. Suddenly God say, "Oh, no more food, no more." God quench the source, so that you are able to show God that you are ready. So let's continue. Let's continue. We want to talk something that you are very familiar with at the end of chapter 5. Chapter 5. Okay, this is about Joshua facing. Okay, let me read it to you. In verse 18 and now, again, this is a very famous, very well-known passage. That Joshua, that he saw when Joshua was by Jericho. He raised his eyes and looked, and behold, a man was standing opposite of him, with his sword drew in his hand. And Joshua went to him and said to him, "Are you for us or for our enemy?" He said, "No. Rather, I have come as the captain of the army of the Lord." And Joshua fell on his face to the ground and bowed down and said to him, "What has my Lord to say to his servant?" And the captain of the Lord's army said to Joshua, "Remove your sandal from your feet, for the place where you are standing is holy." And Joshua did so. Yeah, if I knew earlier that you wear your sandal to the shower stove, I will put this verse on the wall. Remove your sandal. Yeah. All joke aside. This is something that we are very familiar with. Joshua, as a military leader, you have to remember at this time, no supply. No more manna from heaven. No supply. Limited reserve. We're talking about like 2 million people, okay? So every single day they will go through so much food. So they and remember what the law, the whole idea of manna is every day you pick your own food because you will go bad if you reserve it. They have no reserve. They are unable to have reserve. Unable. All right. So you don't eat, you die. But the problem is, you know that if you are a farmer, you farm, you keep the crop, you keep the harvest, you eat a few, you reserve some for the raining day, right? For the bad day, for the winter. For them, they were unable to do any reserve because manna go bad the following day. Zero reserve, zero reserve. The only thing you can probably do is kill the livestock, kill the animals. All right. Oh, okay. So we continue at the third period. Again, if you haven't read it yet, read chapter 5 about the story of Joshua, and do read chapter 6 and 7. Okay, that's all, Prince Sons.